Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Reap Commerce Amazon Prime Day 2020 webinar. I'm Kindy Holcomb with DFW CPG, and I'm super excited to chat with Bryce Macbeth, who you'll hear from in just a moment, about Prime Day. As you may know, Prime Day is an annual event that usually happens in July, but due to the unusual circumstances we're living in today, Amazon recently announced that Prime Day is now a two-day event happening on October 13th and 14th, which is just right around the corner. This year's Prime Day is really unique in that it not only gives massive revenue opportunities for brands, but gives new and emerging brands a great opportunity to get discovered. So just really quick, I want to shout out community partners, Naturally Austin, SKU, and DFW CPG. I also want to give shout out to the DFW CPG community partners who play a massive role in making the CPG community in Dallas-Fort Worth so great. We would also like to call out Mauricio Kramer, who has done an amazing job with the rebrand of DFW CPG. He has helped with branding and package design for a number of CPG brands and could be a great resource to you. So again, I'm super excited to chat with Bryce Macbeth today. He's the founder and CEO of Reap Commerce, a marketing agency focused on helping businesses thrive on e-commerce and converting web traffic into sales. Bryce is an expert in e-commerce strategy, and he and his team have been an incredible resource to the CPG community and could be a great resource to you. With that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Bryce to kick this thing off.
Cool. Thank you, Kindy. So we're going to go through a couple of strategies here on what to do about Prime Day. We've got a big event coming up that is going to be very impactful for many of you, or can be. But first, let's kind of set the stage and make sure what it is, why this is even on our radar, and why it's so important. Just as a reminder, I still have brands coming to us every day, still asking for blogging and SEO, and this isn't everybody, but it happens especially for some of the emerging brands who are kind of looking for a new digital breakthrough, especially the ones going D2C these days since COVID. Here's an example of what Melinda's hot sauce, and they came to us wanting to be ranked on the term hot sauce. And if you look here, they're competing with hotsauce.com, The Heatness, a ton of PLAs, some videos, YouTube, Walmart, Jet, eBay. You'll find in many cases that one of the top listings on Google isn't even a D2C website. It's Amazon, a product listing on Amazon. So OneSpace issued a report recently that kind of described this in detail and explained that brands that want to be prolific on the web need to be on Amazon. Especially from a search perspective, because Amazon does such a great job with optimizing both for the 310 million active shoppers every month on Amazon, and also does a great job of tapping into all the Google searches by getting good rankings on product searches. So if you think about it, a lot of times what happens is you go to Google to search for gift ideas for Christmas or whatnot, and then once you've decided what you're going to buy, you go to Amazon to purchase. So as I mentioned, there's over 310 million active shoppers on Amazon every day. Much less competition on Amazon than there is on Google competing for SEO and paid search listings. 60% of all product searches start on Amazon, not on Google, and it's been reported that 44% of all internet purchases occur on Amazon. A lot of brands have the misconception that it's too expensive to advertise on Amazon because Amazon takes seller fees and advertising fees, which is somewhat true, but a lot of times they're not comparing that to the cost of doing what I call traditional digital, which is the cost of doing the hidden cost of doing SEO plus search and paid search, social media can really rack up a lot of brands or getting a 3 to 5x ROAS on their ad spend, which in the grand scheme of things is not better than the 15% that Amazon takes in many cases for most sales. So even for brands looking to just expand or protect their brand, Adweek recently came out with a report that described in detail why it's critical for brands to be on Amazon to protect their brand and all the great work that they're doing to build the momentum around the brand. There's a ton of counterfeit, a ton of 3Ps and resellers who are undercutting the brand and cheapening the brand and making it impossible to sell at full retail price when you're going D2C on your own .com or whatnot. So it's critical to be there. So as Kendi mentioned, Prime Day is a huge selling day. It's typically a one-day event in July. This year it's been moved to October because of COVID. It was just recently announced on the dates coming up. It can create a halo effect around Prime Day, so it's not just about the 2 days this year that we're going to be spending trying to tap into all the fury of purchases going on at Amazon, but the days following can be impacted as well. A lot of brand discovery happens on Amazon because of what I described. People go to Amazon to find a product and they end up finding a competing product or something else like it. If you're not there, they're certainly going to find your competitors. And then they become loyal to those brands, so you're missing a huge opportunity there. 20% of all U.S. shoppers made a Prime Day purchase in 2019, and being that this event this year is 2 days, who knows what that number is going to be. It's probably going to be pretty big, and I'm going to divulge some details to you here in a minute that'll kind of substantiate the opportunity on a broader scale. But definitely a unique selling environment here leading into the holiday season. So this year is going to be really weird. I mean, I don't know what else to say. The good news is, especially for brands going D2C through their .com and through Amazon, there's going to be, it's predicted that there's going to be a lot more first-time Amazon customers this year than in previous years, because there's people staying home to either stay safe, or maybe they've been trained over the last few months to go to the internet to look for products that they're searching for instead of going directly to the store where they might have previously done that. So it's going to create an opportunity to tap into a new consumer market. Also, 75% of U.S. consumers have changed brands during this pandemic. Just being willing to try new things and wanting to stock their shelves at home with products that they like. They've been more willing to experiment with new products, especially in the CPG space. So this is a major opportunity for you in two ways. Number one, to protect your brand for people looking for the product, your product that they have learned to love, and they want to stock their shelf with your item. If you're not there, they will pick your competition. So that's something to keep warning on. And then also for your competitors who are not on Amazon, they're asleep at the wheel. Thank goodness you're part of the CPG community, and it's being brought to your attention that you need to be on the shelf because you can steal customers from them. So there's definitely some strategies that we can implement to help take advantage of that opportunity. It is really important this year to understand that Amazon's capacity has been restricted for a number of reasons, and it's, at this point, if you have not shipped your inventory over to Amazon to be fulfilled by Amazon through FBA, then this is probably a moot point. But the fact is most brands are going to have to be prepared this year to have, not just for demand purposes, but also for limited inventory reasons. You're going to have to go with a dual FBA and fulfilled by merchant strategy. So if that is something that you feel pertains to you and you need some help, then certainly give us a buzz and we can kind of walk you through your options there. And then the timing is going to be really weird. Where, like I said, it used to be in July. This year, we're really close to the holiday selling season and T5, or also known as Turkey 5, the 5 days around Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday. So it's going to be really close, and we're predicting a couple of things. Number one, this is a great way to experiment with some of your campaigns leading into the holidays. But we're also expecting a lot of your competitors to kind of drop out because it's so close and they have their budgets ramped up for the holidays. They're not going to be spending, and particularly with Prime Day being announced so late, they're not going to have as big a budget to spend on Prime Day this year. So I already gave you the compelling stats on why Prime Day is going to be really important. And to be quite frank, I think there's going to be a lot of competitors dropping out of the mix and giving you a massive opportunity to get in and get in front of some of those would-be shoppers. So let's talk about the strategy around Amazon Prime Day. So I think it's pretty basic, but yeah, plan, execute, analyze, and then what's unique here is adjusting for Turkey 5, the budget, the promotion types, and product array, and all these things. So seems pretty basic, but let's kind of get into a little bit more specific detail. When you're planning and looking at what products to put, you may not put all of your products on Amazon, and you certainly want to focus on a few key items. So the biggest takeaway here is to focus on your high velocity items and really things that have healthy financial viability that can maintain some profit or at least help you break even in this endeavor, particularly if you're new, and help you acquire new customers without having to spend a lot to get them. So those are two of the biggest criteria. Another thing you might consider also that's not listed here is introducing new consumers to your products that are very popular that may not necessarily be on Amazon. So something you want to put your best foot forward to impress a new audience. As far as competitors and what they're doing, you want to keep an eye on that. There's several tools to help you do that that's out there. There's also services and consultancies that can help you kind of assess this both during and after the fact. So how are the competitors, even if you're just looking from the consumer end user view on Amazon, what are your competitors doing? What are their top selling items? What are they sponsoring? What are they paying to get listed to the top? What's their pricing? And you want to make sure to be in lockstep with that and have a competitive stance on that as they make changes. And then obviously budgeting is going to be really important in how you sort of split your budget up between the holidays and especially the T5 week and what you're doing on Prime Day. So but if when money's no object, we want to kind of double down and take a big advantage of what's coming up with Prime Day and then make adjustments and go all for T5. The reality is that may not be available to you, so we want to set as much budget as we can for Turkey 5 for two reasons, mainly because, like I said, a lot of competitors are going to be dropping out of the mix with a late notice and being flat-footed and not being prepared for Prime Day and already having their budget set for the holidays. The other reason why I'd say spike the Prime Day budget this year, if you can, is to give you that massive amount of learnings to make adjustments for the holidays. So if anything, we'll split it evenly between the two, or maybe even put more emphasis on Prime Day this year than Turkey Day. If you were able to increase your revenues off of Prime Day because it's highly effective, then it may be able to fund an even deeper promotion that you're going to run during T5. So inventory, again, ideally you're looking at inventory position 3 or 4 weeks out. Unfortunately, we're 2 weeks out. That's going to be really hard to do. But definitely if nothing else, getting your listings going for your FBM or your fulfilled by merchant orders. And then also looking both at the sort of paid listings through the Amazon marketing services and their DSP. We'll talk more about that here momentarily, but definitely sort of expanding and diversifying your advertising mix on Amazon. And then it's always a good practice, especially if you're an emerging brand or trying to grow your brand on Amazon, is to use as many channels as possible between email, social media, influencers. All these things help build a velocity, which feeds into the Amazon flywheel, which we covered on another topic here a couple months ago through the DFW community that you can access through their website on how to feed into the Amazon flywheel. But there is very much a critical part of building your Amazon sales by building velocity, and a part of that is not just putting the listings on and waiting for people to show up, but it's doing things in other channels to drive sales, increase that velocity, and feed into the frenzy. Product planning, so here's just a couple stats on different top categories here in 2019 and the changes year to year. A lot of you are dialing in to understand about this grocery and gourmet food category here. I think there's a 23% increase. Let me move my headshot here so we can see stats a little bit more clearly. Let me try one more option. How about that? So yeah, top grocery and gourmet foods is one of the top brands winning a Prime Day and getting a 26% surge year over year. So definitely in the top in terms of year over year growth, top 10 category overall. Some of you also sort of fit into the home and kitchen and health and household, and even beauty and personal care. We have a lot of customers that we're working with in those categories as well. So it's interesting to know the top category on Amazon is growing rapidly. So good thing to see in it. Okay, so I mentioned this a while ago, but as far as which products to promote, like anything that's going to help you create the brand awareness that you're looking for and that helps your brand. Newer products that maybe you haven't gotten a velocity elsewhere that you want to get in front of the 310 million active shoppers. Anything you want to test promotions on before the holiday season. So even in some cases, we have some clients that look at this as a break-even assessment or a break-even opportunity where they can collect a ton of data and then use that data to influence what they're doing through Amazon during the holidays, but also their website and through retail. So keep that in mind. There's a huge learning opportunity here of what's the cost or what's the value in that. What would you be willing to invest to get all that data? And then anything that's out of season or you have excess stock that you want to liquidate and get off the shelf is something you certainly want to take a look at as well. So the rest of it has a lot to do with forecasting and getting inventory levels ready. Again, we're kind of behind the eight ball at this point, but certainly something to look at. You definitely have time to look at your page detail and get this optimized in time. It's pretty quick. The uptake on what Amazon does to optimize your product on relevant searches can be pretty quick. So, making sure your product is competitively priced is important, but also getting keywords that people are actually searching for infused into the title and into the feature bullet. Like a big part of getting these products optimized, getting them into your paid campaigns. The A+ content at the bottom of the page really helps tell your brand story and can be a critical part also of conversions and convincing people that this is the right product to buy. Between the title of the product and the feature bullets and the A+ content, if it's done correctly, it can also optimize very well on Google, which is one of the first opening points that I made at the beginning of this session. So there's plenty of time in a 2-week period to get this stuff optimized and win more of the shelf when people search. The next couple of slides, we'll try to keep this short and certainly invite you to give us a call if there's some questions about this. But there's a ton of advertising options and opportunities within Amazon, both in promoting your product and promoting your brand. And then the important thing here is is DSP is an opportunity to expand your advertising to these consumers when they leave Amazon and go through go to other websites after they leave Amazon. You can follow them around with retargeting ads and whatnot and get people back to your product and purchase, get another second and third chance at converting that sale. And then even within the search opportunities with Amazon, we're looking at a category like keyword expansion. Also looking for brand defensiveness. I talked about this a while ago. Is defending your territory when people search for your brand term, or choking out competition and making sure you are number one for your own brand searches. It's amazing to see how many brands are not doing that effectively. And then going on the offense, so the reciprocal of that, or the reverse of that, for people searching for a competitor brand that the competitor may not be on Amazon, there's an opportunity to introduce yourself as an alternative since that other brand may not be on Amazon. So more on DSP. Here's an example of going to another third-party site and seeing your ads, either as a skyscraper banner or a top banner, and calling them back to Amazon. It's amazing. So a lot of it, click-through on these are typically very low, but in general, it's a pay-per-click model, so you're only paying for what you get. And these are the ads that are impossible to ignore are for the ones on the site that you just intended. So So DSP is a demand side platform that programmatically reaches Amazon shoppers at scale outside of Amazon. It's gone to Amazon, looked at your product, and gone somewhere else. So lots of opportunity there. If that's something you want to discuss, then we'll certainly schedule a follow-up for that. And then within Amazon, we have sponsored products. When people search for a specific product or by category, getting your product listed at the top of the search results or at various points throughout the product results page or the search results page. There's also a sponsored brand at the top of categories and search result pages to introduce your brand and different products that are available. And then the sponsored display, which is typically within the product detail page that presents you as an alternative to whatever product they're looking at that time. There's several programs. I'll try to keep this short because we're probably pretty short on time and unable to get all these if you're not already in motion on these. But certainly now would be a time to be planning for next year's Prime Day, not knowing what the date for that's going to be. We want to be flat-footed next year. Now's the time to start getting prepared for next year as well. But a lot of products that are buzzworthy get launched on Prime Day, and there's a whole section of of Amazon that'll help feature these products. Also, Amazon Live is a Amazon native QVC type platform that gets these influencers talking about the products on a live environment through video. So it's a good way to get featured and spotlighted, and Amazon Live is actually very popular. Not something I use a lot personally, but the data speaks for itself. It is a pretty popular platform. It can be very influential and pops up in a couple different places on Amazon. And then Amazon Post is a very popularly used platform where you can, tell more of the lifestyle element of your brand, tell your brand story, and build a loyal following there. So again, tons of opportunity. The big thing is, in order to be successful on Amazon, again, you got to keep the frenzy going. You got to get people to your product pages, purchasing the product, keeping the conversion rates high, fulfill on all orders, and do a good job of responding to people. It's basically what this says. Running out of stock can be a catastrophic event, as spelled out there in the cardinal sin. Poor product reviews, being late on deliveries, not responding to customers who are in our inventory are some of the top problems that we run into. So we definitely want to be prepared no matter what we end up doing sometimes. So that's, I think that's kind of like the core of it there, Kendi. I'm going to turn it back over to you if you've got some specific questions or whatnot. And then, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bryce, for all the helpful information. I do just have a couple of questions for you. So you mentioned that Prime Day is in Q4 this year and being so close to that T5 period. Can you just talk a little bit more about that relationship and whether or not you think it's more important to focus on Prime Day or focus on that T5, Cyber Monday, Black Friday?
Yes, the answer is yes. And every scenario is going to be a little bit different. So I invite a phone call with someone from our team to help kind of assess your unique situation. But certainly, I almost tend to want to double down on Prime Day this year because it was announced so late. It's a longer time period than normal, so we have more time to collect more data. I just think it's a big opportunity to both sell and also to create some really interesting insights around T5 and create some potential profit that can be used to rebuild a bigger budget for T5. Hopefully you're looking at this as a forecast and not just a hard lock budget. Budget shouldn't be just a license to spend, but it should be, some forecast and targets. If you hit the targets or you sell past your targets, it could create some cash flow to help fund a bigger effort during T5. So hopefully it's viewed that way, but certainly we'll look at a more aggressive approach during Prime Day.
Okay, great. Well, what about, is it too late for a new brand to get in on Prime Day this year that's never been on Amazon before?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, especially by the time this video gets out. It's going to be tough to really get the account created, get the products listed, all that, and fully marketed in time unless you're willing to do all the work on an accelerated pace. You jump through all the Amazon setup hoops. and you're willing to help market the product through your own channels and send emails to your database and through social media or whatnot. So you really have to pull the weight yourself. What is critical here, though, is for new brands that fit the description that you just described. If we have a Prime Day next year that is in, say, July again, or anytime around that, now is the time to get these products and get your account set up, get these products on Amazon, and start promoting and do what you can. Don't maybe not expecting a big return this year, but preparing the listings and starting to build up that flywheel for a successful 2021. Now is the time to be creating an account and getting set up for a successful 2021. Next June is not the time to be setting up for Prime Day next year. We're not waiting. We cannot wait till Prime Day is announced. That means for any brand that fits what you just described, today is the day you have to start setting up your account and calling us to help you get these products off.
Yeah, preparation is key. So what about established brands that are already on Amazon? We're still a couple weeks out. Is it too late? What should they do?
Yeah, so every situation is going to be a little bit unique there as well. And that's where we invite a phone call to kind of talk about your unique circumstance. What I'd say is if there's a lot of velocity behind the brand, a lot of support, and things are, cooking along real nicely, no, it's not too late. Like, now's the time to start setting up these campaigns and getting the strategy in order, and get the creative. If you're running through the DSP, and just being prepared to double down, watch the stats as they come out after Prime Day. For a brand that's already on Amazon but may have not hit some of the velocity numbers that they're looking for, then still an opportunity to really take advantage of the opportunity to sell into Prime Day and get build more new relationships with new consumers, and really take advantage of opportunities. Not too late, but we can't wait another day. And for those brands, I'd also say it's kind of a hybrid, right? Like, yes, it's not too late to take advantage, but you've got to get started today. But also we are preparing for T5 and for next year.
Yeah. So are there any strategic considerations for brands to think about after Prime Day ends?
Yeah. Again, I go back to T5. And in my opinion, a lot of this data is marvelous, because it's so marvelously measurable with everything you do with the listing at. It's assuming you're selling through Seller Central, not Vendor Central. Vendor Central is a little bit more. This is where you're selling to Amazon and letting Amazon do the work. Seller Central is a lot more transparent. It gives you a lot more data about what's actually happening on Amazon. So between impressions on your sponsored listings, the click-throughs, the conversion rate, the cost per acquisition, cost per sale, whatnot, all this information is marvelously measurable and helps feed into how you might also optimize on your own website, and how you prepare for the holidays, and how you leverage this information for Prime Day next year. So the follow-up and being able to influence what you're doing on other channels is incredible, and especially if you're feeding into Amazon and using your database and using your social media to help drive Amazon sales. Those can typically convert at a much higher rate than sending them to your website. Anyway, all that together provides a wealth of data to make some changes or make some decisions about how to leverage all of your platforms, both during Prime Day and next year's Prime Day, holiday selling season, and quite frankly, just planning out a successful 2021.
Yeah, and to all the viewers out there, I would just encourage you, if you need help, reach out to Bryce and his team. Again, they've been an incredible resource for the CPG community here, and I can attest to that. So anyways, thank you, Bryce, for your time and expertise today, and thank you to all the viewers out there watching. We will see you next time.
Happy Farm Day.